Thank you for speaking to CBS News. We appreciate your time. It's being reported that your government has announced that it is accelerating engineering work to reopen access to Fordo. What is the status at Fordo?
No one exactly knows what has transpired in Fordo. That being said, what we know so far is that the facilities have been seriously and heavily damaged. The Atomic Energy Organization of the Islamic Republic of Iran is currently undertaking an evaluation and assessment of the report, which will be submitted to the government.
Have Iranian inspectors been able to access Fordo, or are they still trying to attempt to access it?
It is the Atomic Energy Organization of the Islamic Republic of Iran that will have to respond to that question, because it's they who are currently doing the inspection and assessment.
President Trump has made it clear multiple times that Iran's nuclear facilities targeted in those U.S. strikes were, in his words, obliterated. Have they been obliterated?
It appears that they have been heavily and seriously damaged. However, I would like to reiterate that I do not have accurate information regarding the damage. But it appears the facilities are currently unusable until reports establish how long it will take for them to be restarted, or even if they can be restarted.
The head of the UN's nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, has told CBS News that Iran could likely start enriching uranium again within a few months. Is that your assessment as well?
Iran has this enrichment industry that is localized. We have not imported it from abroad, and this technology cannot be bombed. If there is this will on our part, and the will exists there in order to once again make progress in this industry, we'll be able to quickly repair the damages and make up for the lost time. No one at the moment says that the facilities have remained intact. It's the technologies and the know-how that are still there.
I don't want to misunderstand you. If Iran can enrich uranium within a few months' time, will it enrich uranium?
This enrichment is now a matter of national pride and glory. I would like to add that as we speak, we have now also gone through a 12-day imposed war, in addition to all we have done for this nuclear program. And therefore, people will not easily back down from enrichment. According to the fatwa, that is a religious decree by the supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution, nuclear weaponry is religiously forbidden and has no place whatsoever in our security doctrine. I solemnly hope that the world, in particular the West, understands this and accepts that the Iranian people have the right to benefit from the bounties of a peaceful nuclear program, and they will not easily give up this right.
President Trump has made it clear that he will bomb your country's nuclear facilities again if Iran does indeed start enriching uranium again. Are you prepared for that?
Is this a lawful act?
You tell me.
Nuclear facilities, regardless of where in the world they are immune to aggression. And waging attack on Iranian nuclear facilities is a flagrant violation of international law. That a country feels the liberty to not only launch an attack on Iran's nuclear facilities, but threatens to do this in the future, stands in contravention of all the rules of international law and the United Nations Charter. It surprises me, however, that the European countries and the West at large, who feel that they are the flag bearers of international law and human rights, have failed to accept this simple truth and have failed to condemn such aggressions. As for the Islamic Republic of Iran, we showed and proved during this 12-day imposed war that we have the ability to defend ourselves, and we continue to do so should any aggression be launched against us.
For decades, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said your country was months away from a nuclear weapon, despite the fact that most intelligence assessments and outside observers said that was not the case. Why then do you believe Israel targeted your country, kicking off this 12-day war?
that the Islamic Republic of Iran has never recognized the existence of the Israeli regime and regards it as an occupier, there is no doubt. This has been our political position based on what is right and what is just. Other countries' concerns about Iran, about the nature of Iran's nuclear program, are completely irrational. We even reached an agreement on Iran's nuclear program, a guarantee that Iran's nuclear program has been peaceful and would continue to remain peaceful. The world, too, accepted that this was a very good deal. But the inherent animosity of the Israeli regime towards the Islamic Republic of Iran can be ascribed to nothing but the fact that we will have supported the aspirations, rights, and interests of the Palestinian people.
Given everything that's happened, 12 days of war, the US for the first time bombing Iran, targeting its nuclear facilities. Some could argue that developing a nuclear weapons program is potentially in Iran's best interests, given the threats it now faces.
We do not think that in order to defend our nation, we are in need of nuclear weapons. Having possession of nuclear armament, mind you, might even put us in a more fragile position. And of course, this is an ongoing controversy in Iran. There are others inside Iran who might not see eye to eye with my opinion. However, just like I said, based on the principles of the Islamic Republic of Iran's policy, based on that fatwa, that is the religious decree issued by the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic, we will not be pursuing the production, manufacturing of nuclear armaments. Had we had the intention of going for nuclear armament, we would have done so.
I want to turn to diplomacy, which is your area of expertise. If we go back to the dark days of the war, President Trump, during the 12-day war between Iran and Israel, said that he would wait 2 weeks before deciding whether or not he would join Israel. And yet, a day later, he targeted 3 nuclear facilities in this country. Can you trust this president?
The fundamental question now is, should we trust the Americans once again? Do we want to go into another round of new negotiations with them? In the last round of negotiations, the truth is they betrayed diplomacy. They didn't just betray us or even Oman as mediator. What they did was a betrayal of diplomacy, of dialogue, of negotiations. And unfortunately, it set a very bad precedent, and yet we are now once again invited to diplomacy. We were in the middle of diplomacy. It was not we who left the negotiating table. If they want to return to diplomacy, we need to ensure that they will not repeat what they did and that they will not move towards military action in the middle of negotiations.
President Trump has said that talks with your government could restart as early as this week. Will that happen?
I don't think negotiations will restart as quickly as that. And as we speak, we are in the era of aftermath of a war. Sentiments are sky high. People are grieving for their lost ones. They're mourning, and they're angry with America and Israel. Anti-American and anti-Israeli sentiments are running high.
Still, the door is not entirely closed to direct talks with the U.S.
And the doors of diplomacy will never slam shut.
During the war, leaders in Israel and senior politicians inside the U.S. called on the Iranian people to rise against its leadership, to rise against its government. That didn't happen. Why do you think that is?
As is the case in most countries, people in Iran may naturally have grievances with the government. They might harbor criticism, which is normal. But what transpired over the course of the past days, the attack on Iran, cemented an extraordinary solidarity and unity between Iranians. We saw unprecedented support and solidarity among Iranians of all walks of life, both those living in Iran and those outside. It demonstrated the Iranian spirit.
It has been extraordinary to see. We understand the deep divisions in your country. Can this national unity last?
Indeed, it is in trying times that the Iranian nation reunites. Under normal conditions, there are differences.
It has been a very painful time for your country. 12 days of war, over 600 Iranians killed, including senior IRGC commanders, top officials, nuclear scientists, and civilians, including women and children. Does your country want revenge?
As we speak, Iran is mourning the loss of lives, military commanders, political officials, ordinary civilians, including women and children who were brutally and unjustly killed. There is no justification whatsoever for the military aggression by Israel and the United States. And we are taking this to the international organizations, to the United Nations, to ensure that they will be held accountable and to ensure that this aggression is recognized by the United Nations Security Council and the United Nations, and that they will pay damages. There is little hope that they will do so. And if they do not, this fire will rage in the hearts of every single Iranian for the rest of time.
This 12-day war was devastating for Iran. We saw air defenses taken out. We saw mass casualties and devastation to your country. Is Iran prepared to defend itself?
We defended ourselves honorably. Our air defense system ran into a number of problems, that's true, but our missiles made up for that glitch. We have always said that our missile program has both defensive and deterrent capabilities, and it functioned well in this war. We did not attack Israel. They attacked us, and our missiles were used to defend the country, and they proved their value. This was a war. There was a lot of destruction on both sides, but we did not start this war. All we did was defend ourselves. We exercised legitimate defense as per the stipulations of the United Nations Charter. What the US did, what Israel did, however, was entirely illegitimate and violated international law.
One final question, if I may. Every Iranian we've spoken to say they want a life of peace and one without war. Can your leadership promise them a peaceful future?
You will not find anyone in Iran asking the government to remain silent or not defend itself in the face of aggression. Defense is part of peace. If we do not defend ourselves, we will not have sustainable peace. Our foreign policy has always been to live in peace and harmony with our neighbors, and we will maintain this. But if we face aggression, we will defend ourselves.
Foreign Minister, thank you for your time, for your candor, and for talking to CBS.